big coaching change. Chashao previously on Suning before, now coming over to JDG as, well, you didn't ban out Zoe. This is probably sad. Yagal's a good Zoe.
Yeah, I want to see how Yagao finally shapes up on this Zoe pick. He's honestly had a couple of off games on the champion already, but all being said and done, this has been his go-to champion, by far his best champion throughout all of these years, starting through 2018. So I'm glad to see him on it. Against Rogue Warriors, I think playing with range and poke is actually a pretty decent idea. And what I'm actually really excited about for Loken is he doesn't actually have to pivot toward Kai'Sa or Vayne all the time. I feel like in this meta, in patch 11.2, he can actually still go for Senna or go for Varus. Those two picks are much more utility focused, and I feel like he would be more comfortable on them.
I mean, Clement, are you just sad now because you set yourself up for the point, but he just locked into Felios and Thresh?
Yes, I'm very sad. I'm trying to ignore that.
I love you. Like, you know what? I'm going to get through this point. I don't care that he's picked up a Felios and Thresh. We're just going to go through it. But, you know, still a safe bottom lane, a bottom lane rather that has the potential and pairs up quite nicely at the very least. You're right about the 80 carry pick, so we'll see if he pivots throughout the series. But it is Michi who's decided just to opt in for the, oh man, this pirate.
Samira.
Samira, thank you so much. I don't know why you just started saying Senna, and I thought, yeah, Senna, but against Thresh, that would have been some cool story. At the very least, bottom lane setup, Clement, now walk through the jungle because we have none for both of these teams.
Yeah, not a lot of options here. The main one, probably Pantheon, still up and available for Haro, but I would say Haro is actually much closer to a Graves player compared to a Pantheon. He really likes ganking for his lanes. He has to play a solo carry role, so probably not going for the Gore Drinker line, but going for another 80 carry. We have seen things like Kindred and Graves for him work out. On the other hand, for JD Gaming, I think they're just looking for a little bit more frontline to beef up their composition. They had the hyper carry core in Aphelios and Thresh already locked in, a good poke, and lots of range coming in from Yagao. And right now, they're probably just looking at something like the Ornn and, you know, another frontline jungle to kind of set things in stone.
Okay, well, Ornn hasn't been banned away. You've got a lot of the global pressure that's taken by RW. And on that, they're like, well, what are we going to pick up for our own jungle? Haro loves Graves. You know, he's one of the more successful Graves in the league. But Kanavi, you know, his response being the Lilia, it's pretty stock and standard if it gets locked in.
I do like the Graves. I think Haro is probably the only Graves that I would give him this champion with a bit of confidence. We did hear in the previous interview with Twyla that Graves actually has a super low win rate. He's currently only at 27% in the LPL. So he's a very difficult champion to master where you constantly need to be pushing into the enemy jungle. But on Rogue Warriors team composition, I think it makes a lot more sense because they love to play double 80 carry. And in fact, they're going to be the ones that are looking at the Ornn combo right now. JD Gaming, they've added a lot more catch tools here. They do have the Lilia Swirl Seed that can go across the map. They do have Camille split push into catch as well with the Hextech Ultimatum. But overall, I would say that this is more of a confidence pick. They're not going for the standard top side front line for Yagao and for Loken. They're actually just trying to play through all points on the map at the same time.
I was going to say, this feels like JDG have drafted so many winning lanes, right? We know mid, we know top is going to be quite fine for the Camille past the stage where Ornn does assassin-like damage. But bottom lane as well feels like the most volatile lane, as it should be in Season 11.
Yeah, I don't think bot lane is necessarily winning for the side of Samira plus Leona. If the Thresh is on point, Leona really can't find the engage that she wants to. However, Rogue Warriors are expected to fold very heavily into the bottom side with the Ornn teleport and things of that nature. Well, I honestly see JD Gaming's composition as being a little bit cocky. This is a very confident composition that which they can play through multiple areas. And honestly, if you look at their comp, there's essentially 4 carries on the team. They're really looking at you know, spreading their resources. They're not trying. They don't feel they necessarily have to focus on a single point on the map whatsoever. And you know, for a team at JD Gaming standing with their caliber of talent, this is passable.
Yeah, but they have to perform up to those expectations. And Clement does feel like the snowball is going to be the main point of concern here for JDG, because there are good elements of scaling with the Ornn, with the Samira Orianna. You know, the ability to team fight later on feels like it's going to get easier for Rogue Warriors. I'll quiz you more about it as we get into this, because RW versus JDG, people would be looking at this from a piece of paper and saying, this shouldn't be competitive. But JDG are currently 2 and 3. They're below the cutoff of playoffs before we get into the Chinese New Year, and they need to get some wins on the board, otherwise our confidence is going to drop, and you might see a world where JDG don't make playoffs in spring. That's a very real possibility if they can't pick it up. Where Rogue Warriors already 1 and 6, they're just trying to survive right now and not sit at the bottom of the table. And that means getting a win versus JDG while they're weakened. A lot of good talking points running into this series, Clement. And as we're getting closer towards Chinese New Year, the decorations go up and we enter Summoner's Rift. Now, Clement, walk me through more about what RW want to do, because you already talked about the cocky composition from JDG, to use your words, but RW can play defensive and they have good elements of scaling and ability to 5-on-5.
Rogue Warriors, whenever you pick Samira, it's all about the Samira lane. Samira is a Feast or Famine champion. We've seen this a lot in terms of the LPL. She's only currently at a 31% win rate because most teams can't snowball her from start to finish. But if she gets there, she absolutely dominates the entire game. So, to be expected, we should see Haro starting on the top side, going bot really early. We should see Ziv be willing to teleport anytime there is action in the bot side, and for them to just snowball Michi. That's the way you have to play when you draft Samira.
Okay. Wait for the snowball themselves as well. We can talk more about scaling as we go throughout the game. I think early on, not the most important topic, especially since we see the lane starting to play out. Junglers starting on the opposite side, and just note that we are seeing a Lilia from Kanavi again, one of his favorite champions. Haro's favorite is the Graves, so good comfort for both these junglers to kick us off. And it does feel like we could be left with Kanavi to move up to the top side, as ignore that engage, that's not too much for now. Good trades onto Chocho. Further to my point, Kanavi will end up in a place where he's up there for Ziv, up there for the top side scuttle, and to give his solo lanes a bit of priority.
Really good Guardian coming out from Luma. He's on point, so nothing comes of the Chocho engage. This is what we've saw from previous lanes, that Thresh does cancel out a lot of the pressure that Leona can throw at you until Leona hits level 6. He can flay away the Eclipse, but he can't deal with the ultimate.
Oh, nice trade there.
Zenith Blade,
just walks in. No, it's okay. Clement, you said Blade, we had you there. Forge getting traded half health, has to use his pots, and that just gives Yagao a really good point. He's picked up a Prowler's Claw. Now, I'm not sure why, but I'm not sure. It's better than Redemption, but only just.
Patch 11.2, baby, so that's going to give him a good chunk of damage and 15% extra damage onto the target. That's actually quite a lot if you think about the gank situation.
Level 3 Zoe's going to feel good.
Sure is. But this is something that we've seen consistently from most of our Lilia players. You fast clear the bottom side, you hit level 3 off of 3 camps, and you just go into the mid lane for a good gank. And what I love about this play is that it really guarantees you priority in your mid lane because you're throwing that gank in, and a lot of times that allows you to go into the enemy jungle as well. So as a Lilia, she's not a very good ganker early on. She doesn't have that hard crowd control until level 6.
Yeah.
And what you're looking for is just a power farm early game. So mid lane priority matters to you a lot. This is the pathing that we've been seeing very, very frequently from most of our Lilias in the LPL.
Gives her a good time to back as well after this. As you can see, it was Hackett doing the same. It's clear for clear, but, oh, sorry, Haro. We just came out of an E-Star series, so you have to let me apologize to you. As Kanavi comes up, gets a free Krug camp, so he will be up, but he'll be slow in resetting on the map. Depends on how quickly Kanavi can get the camp and get out.
Yep, but Haro at this point definitely knows about it. We just saw Rogue Warriors actually question mark ping the Krugs on JD Gaming's side. So they should be very aware that there's a 2v2 into the top lane. And we are seeing Zoom come out very, very far ahead in these trades.
Yeah.
You know, Ziv, we characterize him as a punching bag. He is kind of that blue-collar top laner that just takes the punishment but always shows up in team fights. But what we have seen is against the top of the league, sometimes he just collapses. We have seen that against Bin, against the Shy, definitely his lane did not hold up. So there are points in the game where I feel like Haro might need to throw Ziv some love and just make sure that his top laner isn't irrelevant.
And get him to the point where he can actually participate in these fights, right? You know, Ornn can absorb a lot of pressure, fall behind a lot, and it won't matter. As Gravitum used, Blumount doesn't get in position for the death sentence, though, and just knows that the Blade Well can come out, stop that. And JDG still pushing in. An aggressive lane to be sure, one that we knew was going to get ahead. And by about 5 CS after this wave crashes in, if even that. So Loken and Loom out doing a good job to start the game.
I don't think Rogue Warriors are going to be able to find a kill until level 6 at the least, like we were talking about. It's very difficult, like right there, the Flay goes in
double Gravitum
perfectly.
Flash. Okay, we're matching here with the Death Sentence. Haro coming in as well. Gravitum needs to come in a second time. The Flash burnt, they want to kill Lumao. End of the line, the Blade Well as well. Flay back, but it's still first blood given on to Haro as Yagao comes in this trade. Not going to be good. That Trouble Bubble connects, though. And they're on the wrong side of the map. Zoom flying in, wants to sweep them, but he has no mana. Heals up with a pot. One more tick necessary. Flash burnt, Paddle Star blocked. Haro low, Shockwave pulls them back, but Yagao picks up his first kill. Kanavi's in as well, and Rogue Warriors have walked into the den of beasts. Kanavi swirls once, a second time, and Bambi kills you. What a weird timeline.
Rogue Warriors, that's the thing about the Samira pick and why she has such a low win rate in the LPL. I feel like her playstyle is way too telegraphed. You look at what Rogue Warriors have, they're actually running Cleanse in their own bot lane, so they can't really do anything 2v2. They need Haro to force, and Chocho overplayed his hand by
Lilting Lullaby, Trouble Bubble, Yagao's coming in, he burns a flash, and that's Zoe already, ladies and gentlemen. In a weird position though, is he's double flash to commit, or rather just the one. Yagao should be going down here. Chocho and Michi want the kill, Ziv's teleported down, and Michi will get the kill in the end. 2-1 and 2. I'm not sure if there was a shutdown there, Clement, but at the end of the day, it's still a trade. Jungler for mid.
I think there should have been, just based on the kill and assist, but maybe not. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, like, I felt like Rogue Warriors throughout this play, it's a 4v2 trade. Definitely still very much in favor of JD Gaming. And the thing is, it's just too hard to play the map when you only have 1 point that you're really going for. You know, teams can definitely expect it. Chocho overplayed his hand by going back onto the engage once the Flay went down. Really well done by Lumao. This is how the matchup should work out there. He even lands the hook after the flash. That's how good Lumao is on this one. And it just takes way too much time for Lumao to actually fall here. 2 teleports coming for JD Gaming. Unable to match on Ziv's side because he actually had 0 mana at that point. I was looking at the top side. He wouldn't be any use here in this fight either. So they lose multiple members. I'm not sure if Michi actually goes down here. I believe he does go down. So, you know, it just wasn't worth that single kill throughout this trade for Rogue Warriors.
Clement, you can't give Yagao Zoe. You know, as we watch Kanavi finish off this kill, there's a reason. Like, he's one of the good Zoe players in the league. It's his best champion alongside his Twisted Fate. And Yagao just showing up really big. Even though he dies in the end, he's 2-1 and 2. But Zoe's got a lost chapter and teleported right on the dime. Like, there wasn't any hesitation for him to join the play.
Definitely wasn't. And this is part of the draft as well. Zoe is expected to have priority over Orianna in the early game.
Yep.
And this entire way, we have seen Zoom actually just pushing in Ziv. So, you know, it was a pretty easy teleport play for JD Gaming to make. They don't lose much on their waves whatsoever. And it looks like the skirmish is just going to continue.
Hextech Ultimatum, is it too early? Kanavi's not in yet. He has the Lilting Lullaby available, but he's waiting in the brush, thinking that Zoom was just trying to solo trade, making it a bit of a con, but Kanavi has
definitely knows.
He's just sitting at turret, and Kanavi has to back away. So Herald's there. Might just trade it in the end for Haro getting Dragon.
Good win on the side of JD Gaming. I will say, though, this is a trade that they do prefer most of their games. JD Gaming is one of those teams that does like to have very high Herald control rate and will give up early Drakes for Herald. So I think we will see them try to go into the top. Wow.
Box, Death Sentence used. Haro down in the bottom lane, though, and Smokescreen going down, but that is the ultimate use, and I believe Loken either recently burned the Summoners or it was from the previous trade, at the very least. I think it was the previous trade. Herald's going to go down while Dragon was traded, and that'll just be the ultimate place down in the end by JDG's bottom lane.
Once again, we're going to see a mid-jungle roam coming in from JD Gaming toward the bot side. Rogue Warriors, everyone has to back off this one, and Zoom is getting zoned out of his wave here, so... You know, honestly, JD Gaming could play through so many different avenues. I do prefer just going into the top side a little bit more. Even though that Rogue Warriors is trying to over-index into the bot lane, I feel like their bot lane's actually holding up okay.
And Clement, this is why the Herald might be a better trade, because you have 3 winning lanes. You can put it down anywhere. The ability to get this map into your state is so much easier. Zoom taking a trade here just bops up Ziv. And you've got so many options if you're Kanavi here in this early game.
Wow, that was actually a pretty fun interaction. We saw Camille use the Searing Charge and actually stop, use a hook shot to stop the Searing Charge come out from the Ornn. So Ornn doesn't actually get the knock-up or the charge damage.
You know, the cool thing is you use Ornn's, pillar to get the hook shot off as well. That's the best part. So
yeah.
Actually saw it by, I think Zoom was the person who actually showed it against the Ornn matchup. So again, showing to be one of the best laners in the top lane of the LPL. He's pretty close to getting his first item as well, Clement. And so I feel like this is going to be a game where we have to worry about the side lane Camille and what she does, especially since it's going to be a Divine Sunderer. You notice that we do have the Phage there instead of the Hearthbound Axe. So it's going to do a lot to Ziv in the sides.
A lot more split push oriented in this one. And I do want to talk about the Samira pick just a little bit more. We have seen Samira actually lose a lot in priority now that Senna has come out and been one of her hardest counters in lane, just with the range advantage and the ability to walk away with the camouflage and the point and click stun, the root that Senna does have on her kit. So I do expect Samira to continue to drop in priority. And right now, the only team that really focuses on her in the LPL, I would say, is Rare Adam. Rare Adam with the iBoy is probably the only one that has continued to hard prioritize this. Wow.
It's been counted. Oh, yeah, cow. Nicely done. Just uses the Proto Belt picked up to dodge away from the shockwave. He heals up. Remember, he's got unsealed spellbook, so he doesn't mind that trade at all. Forge. Ooh, naughty boy. Swell Seed coming through and won't hit him there for the Lilting Lullaby. That was just beautiful to watch.
Yeah, and JD Gaming's bot lane is holding out a defensive position so damn well. Look at their wave. It's right outside of turret range, but not stacking up. This is exactly what you want to do if you're a defensive bot lane. You want to hold it at that position. The enemy comes in, but they still need the bot lane to actually use abilities to push the wave all the way in. You're going to know about that beforehand. You're going to be in a relatively safe position. And look at Loken and Lurma. They've been sitting in a 2v3 for like a minute and a half. And there's nothing Rogue Warriors can do. They just couldn't get the wave position in a correct state to actually make any use of it.
Kind of sad, right? Clement, I realized I turned into, I'm getting out of all that. Giving myself the best opportunity before I turned into a chat favorite.
Okay. So, unfortunately, Hysterics might be fired for the third time on broadcast. It's going to be me solo casting right now. Still, Rogue Warriors trying to find some purchase into the bot lane. They are at a 2k gold deficit. But, this team is very, very powerful in team fights. I do want to see what they can do. And Haro is currently setting up for a 2v1 onto the top lane. Zoom's already taken away one tower plating, is stunned down. Haro just going to wait around to see if Zoom wants to play aggressive here. They walk out, and Kanavi, definitely a suboptimal Herald here. He doesn't put it anywhere. Drops it in the middle of his own jungle to force out the bot lane. I don't really understand what happened right here. I definitely felt like that Herald should have gone towards the top side, with Zoom already pushing in his wave. This is going to give ample time for Rogue Warriors to respond to this one. And they are going in. The Herald Charge is going to go down, and production actually just remote controlled and shut down my PC. Hey guys, you guys are supposed to fix Hysteric's PC. Hi, this is my PC. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my god. Production just actually cut my computer off, so it's the wrong PC, but I'm back. JD Gaming, they make their way back into the Dragon Pit. And they do get 3 turret platings. So a bit of an oopsie from Kanavi, but it doesn't matter. They're still going to go and set up around Drake. Rogue Warriors is positioning for this. Both top laners do have their teleports here, and Zoe doesn't find any poke. So interestingly enough, even with the big advantage JD Gaming has acquired in the bot lane, they do decide better of this, and they just back off with the turret plating gold. We're going to see still some more action coming in. I like Chocho's position. He's going to go over the wall onto Lurimal. The damage is coming through, but Chocho has to flash away because he does not have that perfect timing on him at all. And really good W coming in from Michi. He's actually able to get away the Felios ultimate. Zoe does get the Drake, but it looks like Yagao's going to fall down. Oh, it's going to take a while. He actually still is alive. How does he do that? He's standing on 100 HP and he gets out, and then Zoom comes in and finishes off the kills. JD Gaming winning all over the map. Forge, he can't get away. No one's able to get no one's able to live here, and JD Gaming walk away with everything. Still going in onto Michi. Michi able to get out, but does have to burn a flash for that one, and a massive win on JD Gaming's part.
Clement, I think
Hey,
I'm back.
what's up?
Maybe
Hello,
lyrics taking
Asterix,
the
I
internet.
miss you so much.
Hey, how was it? What happened? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's hard, you know, casting from home, but I had some cool Pringles. I ate some food while we were going through that. I wasn't able to watch, but now I'm going to do the replay because I'm the color caster for just this moment. So Rogue Warriors...
Zoe,
No,
he buys so much time. I felt like Yagao was definitely going to die there. He survives on 100 HP, and then JD Gaming just cleans up Rogue Warriors. Oh, it was really sad. Just great play on Yagao. He actually gets the Drake, too. Oh.
Clement didn't even let me... I wanted to color cast that, brother, but you just took over. That's fine.
Oh, sorry.
Never
I thought
mind.
that was my job.
No. You're not getting any of my Pringles.
I thought you were fired.
No.
I was so nervous, Rhea.
Why? Why would I be fired, Clement? Come on,
I mean, why would you hire a play-by-play that can't cast?
What do you mean?
True.
I've been casting the whole time.
You are
This is the first time I've had internet issues. Clement, you had internet issues in the rehearsal for me. Oh. I don't know.
I'm just glad you're here.
Hey, I'm glad to be back. It's almost a 5k gold lead as I come back to this one. I'm not too surprised that JDG were finding windows, considering that Rogue Warriors are kind of running out of options, right? Like, we already talked about how scaling goes. I want you to walk me through JDG a little bit more, because the winning lanes have turned very, very favorable for JDG. And we're 1.5 items in with like a Camille side lane and a Felios, Zoe, who can really just play against this team no problem.
Yeah, I wouldn't really characterize this as scaling. It's just, is Samira ahead of the curve or behind the curve? And right now the answer is she's very, very far behind. So as a result, Rogue Warriors don't really have a great option to deal enough damage to take down guys like Zoom. Yagao's perfect timing use has been really, really on point throughout the series. And, you know, they're pretty much running the map right now. 5k gold advantage, no one to stop the split push. Ravenous Hydra already completed here, and the jungle going over to JD Gaming. It just feels like JD Gaming are just waiting for the finishing touches.
Save Chocho. Box plays down, range from Loken. Swellseed could get the Lilting Lullaby, but they're interested in the burst. Soulflare wasted Flay as well. Chocho in a slow death. Have you been waterboarded before? That torture method felt like that kill. Chocho going down, Call the Forge God wasted, and Rogue Warriors half in the bin.
Yeah, and Ziv had to roam so far away from his own tower to get that play. Zoom's still playing very conservatively, though. It's not actually going to look for more damage onto that one.
Well, I think we're getting to GG Go Next territory, Clement. What do you reckon? Am I fair in saying that?
It's pretty close. If you don't win out on the Samira gambit, it's just not going to work. She's very feast or famine because she relies a lot on getting ahead of the curve, dealing more damage, and getting more lifesteal with her ultimate. If that virtuous cycle doesn't work for her, then she just doesn't do anything. In a sense, she feels a lot like Vladimir, where, you know, you have the AP into HP scaling thing. It's like, if you do more damage, you heal more, you're more unkillable, and all that good stuff coming out from Samira. But on the flip side, if that cycle doesn't get going, you're just kind of stuck.
Yeah, and it feels like a dire straits at this point. Again, I could talk about items for JDG, but you can all see it on your screen. Note that there's a 5, almost 6,000 gold lead at 19 minutes in the game. And JDG are 40 seconds away from picking up a free Ocean Dragon, from moving towards an Ocean Soul. And we're going to get a Baron at one point with an Aphelios who can take it down so quick. So it feels like we're just going to wait for this next slip up of Rogue Warriors and JDG to capitalize.
A lot of damage on this Aphelios already with 2 items completed. I like what Rogue Warriors are doing right here. They're basically goading JD Gaming to engage on them.
Bowling ball. Oh, 2 people. Lilting Lullaby. Now, Bellow's Breath can stop this, but not in time. The hook comes in anyway, and Chocho goes in while his team's half asleep. Zip just gets uppercutted to the face, and that's Divine Sunderer for you. The Ornn is not fed, but JDG are. Kanavi in position to come in for a 3-man, but Lilting Lullaby was used. Swellseed hits a wall, and that's how easy it is when Rogue Warriors wait for you to come to them.
How did Ziv go down that quickly?
Oh, no.
Haro.
Oh, yeah, gal. Okay. Well, Ornn's not tanky enough, Clement.
I'm just at a loss for words how fast an Ornn could die in that situation. Luma with a great death sentence gets Ornn in place, but just the damage coming out of Loken and Yagao, way too much to handle for Rogue Warriors right now. They're going to get the Drake on JD Gaming's side and pretty much just walk away with this game already close to a 10k advantage. This is vintage JD Gaming. They either win big or they go home.
Let's talk what we talked about in the segment, right? Where JDG are one of the only 2 teams, including Rare Atom, that have only had 0-2s or 2-0s. Right now, JDG, you know, they win fast or lose fast, as Clement was just saying.
They do seem like the personification of MLXG himself. They always go for team fights. They never back out of any fights whatsoever. And that does produce quite high variance in their results, depending on whether you should actually take the team fight or not.
I mean, this is a team that we know we've been criticizing. This is a team that have been underperforming when it counts. But JDG here in this first game against RW, what we asked for is to see them in peak performance before we go to Chinese New Year. Remember that JDG right now are 2-3. And that's not good enough for what should be a top 2 team. And I say top 2 because I put them second, only under top esports, thinking, well, we have Xie and Mystic in this team now. There's no way they're any worse than what they were in 2020 spring, but lo and behold, it's been a slow start.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that Xie has only played 1 game so far. Mystic has not played a single game in the LPL just yet of this split. And Kanavi might be in a little bit of trouble.
Let's see. Hex Flash over the wall. The Dark Passage not taken. He goes Golden Call. The Forge God to line him up onto the jungler. Lilting Lullaby not used in time. And Kanavi gets shut down, but Loken still wants to ult through. It's a 3-man Calibur, but Bladewell stops it. Really nice W from Michi to halt the play.
Beautiful play by Michi. That's the second Aphelios ultimate that she's basically taken away out of thin air with that Blade Whirl like you were mentioning. So, you know, they get a defensive play, they get a kill, but in the meantime, just too many carries for JD Gaming. They have 4 people that could count as a primary carry on this team, and they're all fed.
So we need to see more pickoffs. It's good to see Kanavi going down. Rogue Warriors finding some kind of optimization with some point of this game. What I'm really trying to say is that for JDG, you know, they have to get caught out many more times. We have to see Rogue Warriors fight for an Ocean Soul that they have no business getting near at the moment. And Haro, he wants to sneak
Does
them.
this mean he's going?
No,
Okay. I was a little bit confused. I'm thinking like, Haro, are you really that audacious? He's like, no, I'm not even going to go for Ocean Soul. I'm just going to go straight for Baron.
Flashes, whoa. Dark Passage waiting for the Flay. Death Sentence flashed away from as well. Okay, Lu Mao. What a wild cowboy.
Well, he's pretty far ahead. He can afford to do these plays like that. And he does get the flash out from Haro. So all in all, still a favorable trade on his side.
I think Yagao just picked it up as well. So Yagao's ability to be threatening in the side lane, ever present. As JDG pushing up in all 3 lanes. Look at this across the map. Loken and Lumao pushing mid. Kanavi in the fog of war. Up in the side lane. Yagao and Zoom down bottom. So
I really like this spread because JD Gaming realized that Rogue Warriors Engage is very ultimate dependent. If they don't really have quick successions of ultimates that they can throw in multiple lanes, so even if one lane goes down, they're still likely to find chip damage on the other 2 side lanes. Right now, Rogue Warriors are forming up. They're trying to catch the 3-man in mid.
Yeah.
But look at the 2 lanes that Zoe and Camille are going into. They're pushed very, very far into their own towers, and Rogue Warriors know that if they pull the trigger here, they will lose out on their towers.
And much, much more. JDG kind of a step away from just pushing in and blowing this game to smithereens for a Game 1 win. Baron sitting up there and waiting. Rogue Warriors, right now, they've got vision on it, and that's keeping them safe and in control to just hold back at these inner turrets, at these inhibitor turrets, pull out a bit of CS and hope for a mistake. Hope these ornaments add a bit more extra layers to the damage from these core carries like the Orianna, like especially on Michi, who is only 2 items strong.
So I just want to point out to our viewers that we have had a viewer bug where the ornaments don't really show up on our screen whatsoever, but rest assured they should be there, and Ziv is definitely getting value out of them. We just can't see them, so...
Clement, so the problem is the icon's actually just hard to see. So we do have our first one on Forge. So in the bottom right of mythic items, you can see it's a little bit more red than usual, and you have like that little square. It's just super hard to see, brother.
Okay.
It's 360p, sir. that's what we're seeing. Hey, I'll keep you updated, all right?
No problem. No problem.
At the very least, it's weird because you're right. We have one for Forge, but it's kind of bugged to not see it on Ziv, and Ziv's the first one who gets it. So assume that the Sunfire Aegis is the upgrade. Remember, you only get one with the Mythics now. So we'll see it spread across the board and give about 1,000 gold value worth of buffs as Trouble Bubble connects here, but Rogue Warrior's grouping up as 5 mid.
Yeah, this is a little bit too easy for JD Gaming to deal with. They see all 5 members at this point, and Zoom is also looking for a perfect engage. Chocho has to go in.
Yeah, going low though. Kanavi's dead again. Call the Forge God used down the middle. Rogue Warriors have a numbers advantage. That hook lands on the Forge as Yagal's trying to bring back the fight. They hit Michi, but pulled on back. Down goes Lumao as well. Chocho burnt out. Zoom going golden. JDG 1 by 1. They march into this fight now left with a 3 versus 5. Low health bars for Rogue Warriors, but somehow they're still okay. The burn down from Yagao, it's not over. A 2-man knockup onto Ziv. Loken there. The shockwave lands, connects, and successfully Rogue Warriors win a fight because JDG threw it away.
Oh my god, today has been the day of epic throws. That was so unexpected. JD Gaming were up almost 10,000 gold before that fight. They throw it all away and they trade 5 members for 1.
Right.
Are you not entertained?
I wish I lagged out. I wish I lagged out and I didn't have to see this. I want to go back to my robot people, man. I don't know what's going on. Lilting Lullaby available. Kanavi, can he get the steal? It's low. He's dancing around. Lilting Lullaby. No, he's dead. Oh, I appreciate the commitment, but Rogue Warriors are going to get the Baron, and gold now at only 3,000.
We need to see a replay of that. First was Kanavi going down in the most obvious pivot I've ever seen. They're 5-man. Drake is up. Where else could they possibly be? Kanavi doesn't manage to hit the Zanyas, the first item that he actually bought. And for some reason, JD Gaming still stay around and try to fight this one out. Lumao gets tagged out. Zoom goes in, hits no one, and instantly has to go back into the stasis mode to get out of all of this. And I just don't know what JD Gaming are trying to do here. They're trying to hard force this situation when they're down on numbers. Ziv finally hangs around long enough to find the crowd control. They get all of the carries onto the backside, and Zoom falls as well in his own Hextech ultimatum.
Holy hell. Today, Clement has been something. Yeah, we have a game. This was such a big... Now, look, let's be realistic. Zoom still controls the sidewaves. Yagao is still popping people, but now with the Baron buff, Rogue Warriors can hold to that aggression. They can get more items on the core carries that I was talking about. Michi picked up the kills and a lot of that engage as well. He now has a GA, and Rogue Warriors are back on the map when they shouldn't be. So we've now got a Samira that's in a better position that can contest and deny Loken.
This is just so odd to see, you know. It's feel like your teacher gave you a makeup test, like a test to make up for an F, and then you somehow changed your score all the way back to an A. Like, Michi was so far out of this game that it really shouldn't have happened at all.
Fort God from Ziv. I think he's just trying to stop
Don't know what he's trying to do here.
Well, at least get some damage down. Assassin Orn puts him to half health, and Ravenous Hydra will be able to heal up, but he's backing away, so the Sterix Gauge shield doesn't pop. And Zoom added a lot of pressure on that bottom side turret, gives JDG some room to push out mid to reset a little bit. And remember that Rogue Warriors with this Baron play, it's not going to be huge, but it still put them back in the game. So that's okay. They didn't lose their base.
So I will say, outside of the fact that JD Gaming pretty much walked back into that fight when they were definitely losing members, they basically committed to a 3v5 after Luma went down. It is something about this composition that is very highly volatile. It's the fact that you don't really have a true tank on the team whatsoever. So if Rogue Warriors can have their front line in place, they can just route JD Gaming from front to back and steamroll them in a situation like that. This is one of the greatest things about playing a tank, is that you can come back from quite terrible situations just because tanks are so effective at soaking damage.
That's right. And, you know, Orn is one who does it best in the business. Orn adds so much value to your team, and one of the best late game tanks, not only because the items are upgraded, he upgrades his own, and can get more gold value than anyone else. We're heading towards a 3-item Ornn at this point, and Ziv is level 16, so we've given over a couple of those upgrades. You can see that Typhoon is now given over to Haro, so he gets a bit more extra added value. And because you have an Ornn on the team, that gold lead doesn't really exist. It's more like 54 to maybe 54.5k. JDG might hold a small lead, if even that.
It's very minor, and it's definitely something that can be erased away by formations. If you look at the items onto Yagao, he's really good against backline, but he's going to do nothing against this Ornn.
Okay, they get the inner turret, costing of the ultimate from Ziv. They back away. Swellseed dodged as well. That's nice because JDG are waiting. Look at where Zoom is. He's pushed in the inhibitor turret, but JDG are not giving over the engage. They're not letting them back either, Clement. Everyone's here. They know that the jungler's not there either. Zoom's going to get a free inhibitor. For the inner turret, that trade is so worth it.
That was really smart from JD Gaming. They back off of their own inner, knowing that the engage is coming from Rogue Warriors. They play the delay game, and Camille is able to sneak away so much from this bottom side. And once again, JD Gaming find themselves with the, the tangible and actual gold lead in this game.
Well, okay, we're back. We're back to square one. This is what the Camille's meant to do, and this is just so hard for Rogue Warriors to, push out, get a turret, because every time they're going to be losing so much more. Especially when the Camille is just going to shred turrets instantly. So JDG back into some kind of favorable position, and we're 50 seconds away from Ocean Soul. I didn't mention this before, but after the big fight that came through, Ocean Dragon was picked up by JDG in the end anyway. So they are 40 seconds from Ocean Soul, and that would just change the dynamic again.
We do have staggered timers. That means JD Gaming can fight for one objective and then pivot towards the other. They don't have to make a split sacrifice. Which basically means that JD Gaming are just going to focus on the first one that comes up on the map. It is going to be the Ocean Soul. And I like what Rogue Warriors are doing. They're going for the catch.
Yeah, getting caught out, but lilting Lullaby into the backline. Michi getting low. Hextech Ultimatum lined up in the middle as Zoom's going to use that Sterix Gauge onto fall the Ophelia Assault. They've cornered them. They've choked them down. Loken going to hit pretty damn hard here as well as the play from Lumao. Michi coming in off the side. He's going to go into GA2. And Rogue Warriors getting hit from so many different angles. It's like a club sandwich, except the bread is stale. JDG have 4 members left standing, and around the pit, Kanavi, make it 5, are going to get the Ocean Soul. Onto Haro, ready for the uppercut. The movement speed there, waiting for one more auto to hit. Gets the sweep, and down go RW.
And that's just the entire game to go along with it. Rogue Warriors, I thought they were just trying to hold the ramp against JD Gaming going to the Drake, but they go for the chase further into the jungle and expose their entire backline. Michi couldn't get into that fight until it was basically over. He had to expend his flash to get back in and instantly goes down into GA. So that 5-1 and 3, Samira not able to find a lot of output.
I feel like I should explain the stale bread, Clement. I feel like I should just quickly, just in case, I lag out one day and people ask, you eat a club sandwich. JDG was sandwiching in, but the problem is